Well, g'day everyone. Fox Blockhead here at a good time of year. It is 2021. This is the preseason fantasy Formula One rules and preview. I'm going to be giving you the details for my private league, telling you what my tips, and hopefully we'll be able to continue this throughout the season. If people join, then I can share the mini league, how we're going, how people are performing, that kind of a thing. Well, let's get into it, hey? The preview here. So here are the rules. This is how you play Fantasy Formula One. You have a $100 million budget. I'll go through the drivers later on, but you get 5 drivers and 1 constructor inside of that budget. You score points based on Grand Prix performance, how they qualify, how they race. You pick one turbo driver, that's like your captain, $20 million or less, and they score double points. Start of qualifying at a race weekend locks the teams. And dynamic pricing. Now, they had this for last year, and I couldn't quite work out how to understand the dynamic pricing, how it would change, what would make it change. Was it just whether people would pick up the drivers or not, or were there other things that were involved? Maybe their performances as well. But dynamic pricing, that means that your team, you start with a $100 million budget, you can actually grow that depending on your strategy. Changes to teams. Before the season starts, you have unlimited changes to fit within that $100 million budget. But during the season, 3 free changes every week. That's up from 1, which is a little bit better because then you can make a couple of changes and still fit within that budget. Any additional changes, minus 10 points to a maximum of 6 changes total. Like I said, Turbo Driver can be nominated each week. That is for free, so you can swap that around so long as they're less than 20 million in your team. And then you get 2 wild cards per season. I can see I've left Hungary in there. Hungary, I think, is the start of the summer break. And I think that you get 1 wild card before Hungary and 1 wild card after. They do not carry over. So 1 wild card in the first half, 1 wild card in the second half. Over that summer break is when that resets. 23 races, I believe. So it's about 11 and 12. Or 12 and 11. I can't remember where the break actually... Hungary is like the middle race of the season, which is why I picked Hungary. Your Mega Driver. You get 2 Mega Drivers per season. If you think someone is going to just have a stellar performance, pick them as your Mega Driver. You can't be a Turbo and a Mega Driver in the same weekend. But the Mega Driver scores triple points for that race weekend. Just be careful though. Turbos, Megas, they get minus triple if they end up with minus points, and you can. We'll get into point scoring in a moment. And you get 2, again, 1 before the summer break, 1 after. Your wild card, again, 2 per season, 12 free changes. So you can't just go in and keep swapping. Because of dynamic pricing, you can try and swap drivers early in the week, use your wild card, hope that they go up and potentially increase your budget to get better drivers. I doubt you're going to end up with a team of Hamilton, Bottas, Verstappen, Sainz and Ricciardo and McLaren as your constructor. That's probably not going to happen. But if you play your cards right, you could bump up a couple of those drivers, get a bit of a higher budget. The driver preview. So these are the starting prices here. When you go and you create your team, 100 million budget for 5 drivers out of this, but remember, keep some in reserve for your constructor. Don't just go nuts. So you see Hamilton way out in front on $33.5 million. These are all in millions. Then Max Verstappen, Valtteri Bottas, and Sergio Perez. So Mercedes, Red Bull, after the preseason testing, not sure whether Mercedes are going to be the stellar team that they were last year, but who knows? Anything could happen. Daniel Ricciardo in 5th there, the Aussie, nice. Then the Ferraris, the Aston Martin, Alpine in there, McLaren, AlphaTauri, Alpine, AlphaTauri. Yeah, so you can see we whittle our way down to the Haas and Williams down the bottom. Am I missing someone? 6, 8, that's 9, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. I'm missing 2 drivers. I tell you what, if you can find out who they are, put them in the comments. Because I thought I had 10, or I thought I had 10 rows, and I've mucked it up. I've messed it up somewhere. The constructor preview, yes, and I've missed Haas off the bottom here. So Mercedes, top team, $38 million. That's a big chunk of your budget. That's over a third. Red Bull on 25.9, McLaren on 18, Ferrari just behind them. Not sure if Ferrari's worth quite that much, or Aston Martin. The one that I'm interested in there is actually the AlphaTauri. They showed promise in preseason testing, so they could be a potential to get you a bit of budget there. And I'm pretty sure Haas is down the bottom with 6. I'm going to have to fix that up for next time. This is how the points work out, depending on how you qualify. If you get knocked out in Q1, get a point. Knocked out in Q2, 2 points. Get to Q3, you get 3 points. If you beat your teammate in qualifying, you get 2. If you don't qualify, -5. If you're disqualified, -10. And if you get to Q3, not only do you get 3 points, but you get a bonus, depending on where you finish. So if you get pole, you get 13 points. And if you beat your teammate, which is going to happen if you get pole, you get to 15, +2. In the race then, this is how you score. If you finish, you get a point. If you're fastest lap, you get 5. And if you beat your teammate, you get 3. If you don't finish, -15 points. Now you can see up there I've put 90% in brackets. 90% of the race distance, or as far as the driver, the winning driver would finish if it's a shortened race, 90% is what you need to complete to classify in a race. So less than 90%, DNF, -15 points. Disqualified gets -20. For a bonus for finishing in the top 10, you get the same as the World Championship points. So the winner would get 25 points out of that, right down to 10th, getting a point. And places gained and lost. If you gain up to 5, or if you gain 5 or more places in a race, you get 10 points, otherwise +2. If you lose places, -2 if you start in the top 10 and go backwards, -1 if you start outside. So, who do you pick? Do you pick drivers that are just going to edge into the top 10 but maybe lose positions? Hey, that's part of the strategy of the game, isn't it? And one other way that you can score points is the driver's bonus and the team's bonus. That'll be coming up. If you can finish top 10 for 5 races in a row, and here are the first 5, Bahrain, Italy, Portugal, Spain, and Monaco, you get a -5. As a driver in the race, if you finish top 10 at the end of the race, -10. So consistency gets rewarded. Top 10 in qualifying, top 10 in the race with a bonus. And then for the teams, you actually need both drivers to qualify top 10 for a +5. And that's for a constructor -5, not for the driver. In the race, both drivers need to finish top 10 in the race for 3 races in a row, and we get +10. So I'll be keeping an eye on that as I record these videos after every race, so you can see which teams might be in line for a bonus coming up in races, so you can plan your changes accordingly. The driver battles for 2021. So one of the ways that you can score points is by beating your teammate. When I look up there, I look at Williams, I look at George Russell. He has wiped the floor with his teammate the last 2 seasons and come out on top much so. The one that I'm not so sure of is Gasly and Sonda. He showed promise in preseason testing. So, maybe don't just jump on Gasly because he's a good solid performer. The other one is Raikkonen as well. He's always done well against Giovinazzi in the Alfa Romeos. Of course, new rebrand for this season. Ricciardo's done well against his teammates, but so has Norris. McLaren battle. That will be an interesting one to watch. Stroll and Vettel in the Aston Martins. That's a tough one to pick if you're looking to try and pick up a driver who's going to beat their teammate. Verstappen and Perez. That will be tight. I mean, I'm actually really excited for this season, looking at those left 3 teams, Stroll, Vettel, Ricciardo, Norris, Verstappen, Perez, and across the top, Hamilton, Bottas, Leclerc, and Sainz. There's going to be battles going on forever. It's going to be great. Alonso Ocon, not so sure about Alpine racing. We'll have to wait and see how that turns out. And Mazepin and Schumacher, they're in the Haases. They're both rookies. I would say pick a Haas at your own peril. Alright, the Blockheads is my league. That is the code. Copy, paste, join the league, and I will highlight people who are in the league, who've done well over the previous weeks, and keep everyone up to date on how the league is actually progressing through the season. It'll be for the whole season, so if you get a hold of this and you've been in Fantasy F1 but haven't been part of my league since the start, if you joined in Monaco or if you join even in Australia, it's meant to be 2 weeks from the end, you can still join in. Hey, no problem there. No problems there at all. It'll also be down in the description. So here's team one of mine. I saw the signs. That's one of my teams. And here we go. This is who I've picked to start the season. George Russell, Dan Ricciardo, Kimi Räikkönen, Seb Vettel, Max Verstappen, and the Aston Martin Red Bull Racing team. That may change. That may change. I'm not sold on Seb Vettel. I think he will probably beat his teammate, but again, it's built around his teammate. It's hard to pick. I'm thinking maybe McLaren, but like I said, AlphaTauri. I picked this team before pre-season testing. So how do I want to go? I mean, Kimi Räikkönen, he's solid. George Russell beating his teammate every week, picking up places in the race. Max Verstappen, I really think that he's got a shot this year of the world title. Dan Ricciardo, I think he'll be in the mix. So, look, I'm happy with that team to start with, but I'll let you know how I'm going and what changes I propose throughout the season, and you can see how my teams go. That's one of my teams. The other team will remain a secret until later on. So here's the calendar. This is what we're looking at. Australia has been moved from the opening race down to 19th to the 21st of November. Bahrain is our first week this weekend. So if you haven't joined Fantasy Formula 1, join Fantasy Formula 1. Get in there. Create a team. Don't worry about joining the league until after you've created your team. You don't want to miss out. Round 3, TBC, that is actually Portugal. I will have to edit this and get Portugal in there, so we've got an official, this is what the season's going to look like. I will try and keep everything updated with any COVID issues that are going on, but with vaccines rolling out, we're actually looking like we're going to have a good season. Maybe with some restrictions, maybe with some quarantines and the like. But yeah, I'm looking forward, especially to the second half of this season. We didn't race in the USA, Mexico, Japan last year. Brazil, Saudi Arabia is a new track. That'll be interesting to see how things go towards the end there. So stoked for Australia. I'm hoping against anything that is going to be back at the end of this year. But we'll look forward to that one. So here we go. 2020-01 Bahrain. Well, that's not right. Editor, I'm going to fire the edit. That's me. The Bahrain. Bahrain. I can't spell that. What's going on? The 2021 Bahrain F1 Grand Prix, March 26th to 28th, 2021. Qualifying is actually 6 p.m. March 27th, local time. That is 1 a.m. for me on the Sunday, the 28th, in the morning. So my team will be set before I go to bed. I'm in Brisbane. That's plus 10, so that's 11. 11 a.m.? No, hang on. 3. What am I doing? Minus 10. 3 p.m. So that's 3 p.m. GMT. Get your teams. Get them sorted. Join the mini league. Have fun with Fantasy F1. I am excited for this season. Can you tell? Goodness, after last season was pushed back and postponed because of everything going on. I'm stoked. I'm there. I hope you're with me. I hope you enjoy these videos and the insights that hopefully I'll be able to bring to you so that you can perform better, make better decisions, and have a better Fantasy Formula 1 season. I will see you as the season progresses. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you later, alligators.